Hello, welcome to Music Motors and welcome to the Mitsubishi L200. Now, L200 is one of those kind of trucks that's renowned, historically known for being robust, go everywhere, do everything, go into the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles. So this is a newer variant. This one is powered by a 2.4 litre diesel engine. This one has got an automatic box, but you can also have a 5-speed manual. This one's got a double cab and then an extra cab on the back of it. This is a truck which has 180 PS, 430 Newton meters of torque, likes to kick at you every time you get near a line, likes to beep at you, and realistically is a bargain at £27,000 base price. This one with many options to 37. So let me tell you a little bit more about the 2019 Mitsubishi L200. Now, very early in the morning, it's time to see just what fuel economy I get around town. Whilst this is a four-wheel drive, whilst it is higher up and it does only have 5 gears, I've noticed that around town it actually does reasonably well. So I want to show you just how well it does. So that's a surprising turnaround considering Mitsubishi say they should get 31 around town. It obviously means there wasn't enough traffic or I wasn't driving it properly. I was driving too feather-footed. But either way, even if it did get 31 miles per gallon, that wasn't a bad shout. I did get more. Probably helps that there's no weight in it at this point. Put weight in there and it's probably 31 quite easily. Put some heavier traffic on there and it's probably 23 to 24 miles per gallon. And under normal driving circumstances, that's generally what I've seen. So to get that, pretty impressive, because that's actually very frugal for a vehicle of this size, with this amount of power, this amount of torque. Pretty impressed. On the outside, it is still a very L200 design. Now, for the back end especially, doesn't seem to have changed too much over the many years of production. The front end has become more sleek, more pronounced, definitely very Mitsubishi, but at the same time, you can recognize it as an L200. It hasn't changed to such an extent that you can't recognize it. The front end is very nicely pronounced. It's a very typically Japanese design, but unlike the typical Japanese designs, the arches aren't flared out. So that means that I don't have to worry when I'm getting close to curbs. In fact, this has really good visibility. When it first turned up, I looked at the wheels to the body proportion and thought, they look a little bit strange, a little bit small. But in reality, they really aren't too small. It's the fact that it's quite a big truck, but at the same time, you're getting a good amount of rubber to alloy proportion, which means when you want to take it off-road, you don't have to worry about them too much. It's also nice that they're not diamond cut, they are powder coated. The line to the rest of the truck looks difficult to make a pickup truck look nice from the side, but they've done a sterling job from the outside. Because this is a Barbarian, you do have some extra kind of like steel, aluminium kind of plating on the outside with Barbarian on it, just to let people know you've gone for the upper option. So from the front, it looks great and pronounced and unique. From the side, it looks like a pickup truck, and from the back, it doesn't look like Mitsubishi have done too much over the years, but at the same time, it hasn't aged badly, so it doesn't look out of date at the back either. The only other thing to consider is the fact that on the back, this one does then have the extra truckman cab. Now, this one isn't the commercial one, this is the normal everyday use one with the sliding windows. This helps fuel economy no end. Without it, it is, especially when you don't have the lock and rolling cover on the back, it turns it into a bit of a sail, as I found with the Fiat variant of this L200. But with that cab on the back, it gives it more of an estate car look and feel, but by God is it big. It makes this, what you would say quite a medium pickup truck, look huge, but it looks great. Time for a little bit of an equipment test, just to see, because obviously this is going to take all my equipment with ease without any question, and realistically in the real world of what this will get used for, it will also take all you can need. But I just want to demonstrate just how big it is, and with the cab on the back, just what it's like. My only consideration is really the rear bed doesn't lock, which is quite an annoying thing. It's actually an extra you've got to pay for. So when the stuff goes in the back while the rear top of the cab locks, and that stops the bottom from opening, if someone really wanted to get in, it wouldn't be too difficult. So I've got to hide my equipment as well. When you get to the inside of the L200, it's a little surprising. Obviously, there are multiple specs and different trim levels that you can get, but this is the Barbarian. This is the one with the leather, the auto box. This is a £37,000 truck, but you get really good amenities. From the inside, you have a really nice kind of hard-wearing, but great premium quality interior. Lots of plastics, but really premium plastics. Plastics that you don't feel are going to age and fade in the sun. Not plastics that are going to scratch easily. These are going to take some brutal blows, as it were, and they're going to come out on top. The seats are really comfortable, though they do lack a little bit of support around the side. So while this is actually quite a nippy and decent handling truck, from the inside point of view, when you throw it around the corner, you do kind of slip and slide around the seats just a little bit, but not too badly. The infotainment, very easy to use, comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and all those bits and pieces, comes with DAB. Hell, there's even an HDMI plug if you want to plug in some external sources and have something extra. When you go for the upper trim, you do get heated seats, and whilst they're not the most punchy and powerful of heated seats, they're definitely cozy. When it comes to your headroom, even the tallest of people are going to be relatively comfortable up front. In the back though, your passengers don't get all that much. They get enough. It's a great kind of family truck. It does everything you could possibly want it to do, but you don't get bundles of legroom back there. The headroom is more than capable, and you do have a centre rest back there. However, it's not a supportive centre rest. It just kind of plops out and falls onto the seat. But it's quiet, it's comfortable, it's cozy. At no point when you're in the inside of this do you ever think it's too noisy. And if you did, well, you can crank the sound system up because it's really loud and punchy. Whilst not a premium system, it's by no means rubbish. If anything, it's one of the better standard systems that you would see in a truck, especially considering you'll get this same system on a £27,000 or a £37,000 truck. Before anyone complains, I know it's technically not a truck, but I just call them a truck because pickup truck is easier and quicker to refer to before everyone hates in the comment section. Speaking of the comment section, if you're enjoying the video thus far, please drop me a like, a comment, anything, whatever. Tell me what you're thinking. I like to speak to you guys, so please drop me something. It's time for a little bit of a gig test. So I have a gig which is about probably an hour 20 away at this time of day with the traffic I'm expecting, and I want to see what the fuel economy is going to be the whole way there. I don't have loads of equipment in the back, everything is there. The utility, I guess, of this is because it has the Truckman whole cover over the top. Unlike the fullback, which obviously this is kind of a shared platform where the fullback takes it, and when I had that, it didn't have a cover over the top of it, so it wasn't amazing on fuel economy. This should be substantially better. So let's find out. So with a claim from Mitsubishi of 42.8 miles per gallon, I was interested to see if it achieved it, and it didn't quite get there. But I do need to bear in mind that instead of driving at 60, like ideal conditions, I was driving at 65 on the motorway. On the back roads, I was at 60, dual purpose vehicle, so you can get away with it. You don't have to do the 50, the vans have to go. But generally it wasn't as easy going as it could have been. So the turnaround, the fuel economy I got was more than reasonable. It is probably potential to get it, but not realistically very easily, unless you drive feather-footed. But for a vehicle of this size, with this amount of torque, this amount of power and comfort, really easy to drive, really comfortable to be on the motorway in, and great sound system, you can't complain. So performance is a bit of a funny one when it comes to trucks. Obviously 2.4. Now this one has the auto box, or auto 5-speed. You can also have a manual 5-speed. But what I found is that with 180 PS, 430 Newton meters of torque, it doesn't hang around. In fact, it gets up to 108 miles an hour. And it pops around really, really quickly. While I couldn't find an official figure of the 0 to 60 times, it was decent. It handles very well. You get really good feedback from the road, and generally you don't feel it slide around too much. You get a little bit of understeer, generally caused because there's a bit of frame flex, and you're probably lifting a front wheel off if you're pushing it that hard, like a proper 4x4, and that's where the understeer comes from, not because it's not capable. And it's responsive, it's fun. If anything, this is one of the really fun pickup trucks to drive. So when you want to continue with the feel that you get when you drive this and continue with the performance part of it, pedal feels great. It goes hand in hand with that really responsive steering that you get. And really, it's just, while it does drive like a pickup truck, it does drive like a 4x4, it's not in a bad way. You just feel a bit more of the road. Things like an X-Class drive like a car, same with an Amarok. When you put something like a Ranger or an L200 or Fiat Fullback, obviously same platform, they drive more like pickup trucks, but it's a good thing. They feel commercial, they feel robust, they feel solid. When it comes to economy, now they claim 31 around town, 37 combined, and about 42 on a run. Within reason, if you're very careful, these are probably achievable, but in the real world, you're likely to see about 25 to 29 around town. You'll probably see about 31 to 33 combined, and you'll get about 35 to 37 or 38 on the motorway. That's generally what I found. But then when you consider the type of vehicle this is, the fact that you've got the giant truckman cab on the back, and that it's really comfortable and capable in almost any situation you put it in, those fuel economy figures are pretty good, especially 420 newton meters of torque. That's pretty impressive for 180 PS. That's pretty good for a 2.4. When it comes to off-roading as well, do bear this in mind. The L200 are renowned for being fantastic, and it hasn't changed. The off-road systems are just fantastic. While I didn't do any heavy green laning, when I did get it into some of the muddy stuff, it never struggled, even on road tyres. So this specific L200 has the auto box, which is nice and responsive as you want. I was a little bit confused that it did only come with a 5-speed, and I thought the fuel economy would be better if it ended up having a 6-speed, but the gear ratios work really well for this truck, and within reason it's probably the same ratios as you're going to get in the manual, so it makes sense. This specific L200, 38,000 pounds on the road with a variety of upgrade little bits. For instance, it is the top of the tippy top. You then put on the paint colour and the truckman cab on the back, and that's where the price starts going up. However, if you wanted a single cab, you wanted a manual, it's still going to be as useful and capable, you just wouldn't get as much luxury. But that's not to say it wouldn't be luxurious. That would be £27,000 on the road, which for a pickup truck as capable as this is a no-brainer. It's an absolute bargain. While it doesn't go up there with things like an X-Class, it does really well in just doing really well. It's a superbly well-built utility vehicle which you really could always rely on. No matter where you needed it to go or what it needed to do, it would just do it. When it came to the load capability, I never struggled. However, there are obviously some pickup trucks that you can get which have a bit more load capacity. But this can tow 3.5 tons. It can do everything you could ever want it to do without question, turn around decent fuel economy and be comfortable whilst being totally reliable, whilst being totally robust. Mitsubishi have once again taken an L200, a solid, robust platform, and they've just gone, let's keep it just as good and just make it a little bit more up to date. That's exactly what they've done.